In the 4 years that this channel has been active, we've covered a lot of different alcohol. We've covered beer, we've covered cognac, we've covered gin, we've covered whiskey, we've covered all manner of beverages. But never have we covered alcoholic flavour. That's a bit of a weird one. This is from a French company in Cognac called Audemus, and it is not a cognac. In fact, it's not an anything, technically speaking. This is a distilled spirit designed specifically to channel the flavour of umami. It's that kind of savoury flavour. People like to talk about it sometimes being a flavour that was recently invented. It's not. We just didn't have a word for it for ages. If anyone's aware of kind of like the idea of like tongue mapping, it's not quite the term, but the idea that certain areas of your, or quadrants of your mouth detect different flavour compounds. By the way, it's bollocks. This was the one that came along and was like, oh, hang on, there's another flavour and you're ignoring it. So umami, umami is kind of the go-to flavour for hipsters that want to be like gastronomists and stuff like that. And it's a bizarre one. I'm going to talk through sort of the process that they go through, and I'm going to try some. I'm not going to mix it for reasons that will become apparent, but we'll get started. I've wanted a bottle of this for a while, so I thought, do you know what? I'll treat myself. Also, it was on sale for Black Friday. And this is what I pulled the trigger on. All the Black Friday stuff. Actually, this and something else, but we'll get to the something else another time. Glad I've got this. They also make pink peppercorn gin, which, funny enough, was the seed of inspiration for the first ever video on this channel, which was the how to make your own infused gin. So, call back? Audemus handcrafted spirits are born from a unique combination of modern artistry and traditional production techniques that have been refined by generation of distillers and blenders in Cognac, France. Based in the Old Town, Audemus creates innovative products that break the boundaries of convention. It is safe to say that anything these guys bring out is a little bit odd. The most conventional thing that they've done is a pink peppercorn gin, and that broke the mould at the time. Nobody was using that as a botanical. This is a bottle of Stockport pink peppercorn gin, so, I mean, their influence has been pretty profound. Loads of people are using pink peppercorns now in gins because it just worked that fucking well. This is a 500ml bottle and it is 42% ABV, and then it talks a little bit about the production for this as well. Umami is a daringly designed spirit in a class of its own. Some retailers class this as a vodka, but technically speaking, it's not. It's a distilled spirit of its own varietal. Hand-picked Italian capers are distilled with grain spirit at low temperatures, 45 degrees C specifically. I looked it up. Then blended with 3 umami-rich ingredients before being left to rest in old cognac barrels for a smooth, round finish. So this has actually aged slightly as well. You can just about make out a faint golden colour. Slightly salty and at the same time somewhat citrusy on the nose. The ingredients coat the mouth with a rich savouriness that lingers delicately. Umami is an audacious recreation of the fifth taste and the perfect spirit for all dry and savoury cocktails. Now, the reason I dig this, and the reason I'm not doing it as a mixer as well, is because I don't quite know how to do it justice. Because I haven't tried it yet. So it wouldn't be fair to me to be like, oh, this is a good serve for it, because I haven't got a fucking clue. I'm going in completely blind. If I'm reviewing a gin, then I kind of have the basis like, okay, I'm going to try this with a tonic. If I'm trying a whiskey, I'll be like, okay, right, I'm going to have some water on the side. Trying with the rum, have a dark mixer, that kind of a thing. With this, I don't know where to start. I mean, I've got a couple of ideas, obviously, but I don't know how it's going to play yet. So I need to know how the base spirit is, so that is what we're going to do today. And I'm quite giddy about it. You can probably tell, can't you? Right, so. Okay, I'm liking this so far. As a quick addendum as well, I love anything sort of pickled or briny or that's got that kind of like acidic, savoury tang to it. I love pastrami, as does the cat. He will have your hand off for a slice of pastrami, I'm not kidding. Capers are great, pickles are great. I mean, what more do you need? Also, this is a little unusual. Batch number, it's just a red dot. So that's a little weird. Right, so, in the glass, do have that slightly golden colour again. Oh, it's gone spicy. Now that it's actually in a glass. Yeah, capers, man. Capers and black pepper. A little bit of like sea air, like a wave of salinity to it. A little bit fusile. Kind of like pickle brine as well. If anyone's ever had like a pickleback, again, I love those. It's just whiskey and pickle brine. It's great. Everyone should fucking drink them. Okay, right. Gonna give this a go. Oh wow. It's a little bit hot on the finish, but before it gets there, there is this tsunami of capers, pickles, bit of yellow American mustard. It's a deli counter with alcohol, basically. Oh, what's that at the start, actually? There's something... The mouthfeel is thick, and there's a flavour just at the start. It just kind of goes, bip, boo. I want to say like a dry rub. Like on like something you're going to barbecue, or something you're going to grill. Sort of like a melding of spices. You can't really pick anything out anymore. It's its own flavour now. I mean, the capers are really what shine through, which is not surprising because it is literally the base of it. I think the cognac rest is needed because it's still a little bit jumpy as a spirit. It's still got a certain harshness to it. If it didn't have that rest, I would imagine it would be not great. This is obviously not designed as a sipping spirit. It's not meant to be taken in this particular form, although I would imagine with a cube of ice, no issues. It's designed as a mixer's spirit, which is different from a mixing spirit. I wouldn't recommend just chucking Coke in this. It's designed to go with other spirits and modifiers, bitters, vermouth, take your pick. I think a little bit of sweetness would be interesting to this, kind of like have a sweet savoury kind of a thing. You could do an interesting riff on like a Rob Roy, cut the whiskey with this, and then have like a half and half, and you end up with like a pickleback kind of a cocktail. That could be quite interesting. I know that's the second time I've mentioned that particular combination, but it's nice. Everyone should have one. Yeah, I'm big into this as well, for the reason being, when you're coming up with cocktails sometimes, it can be a bastard sometimes when you're like, okay, I want to hit a particular flavour profile, but I don't know where to start. So you're kind of like, okay, I want something quite sweet and saline. Okay, where do you start? Well, that gin's a bit salty, but so is that one. Which one works best? With this one, it's kind of like, okay, I want like an umami flavour. Oh, here's that flavour in a bottle. Job done, move on with your fucking life. It covers a base, basically. It's a quick and easy go-to for the mixologist on the go, and as luck would have it, it's also a well-crafted spirit. The flavour comes through in bags. It's not overbearing, but it's there, and there's plenty of it. The packaging's nice, obviously. It's a nice little bottle. And I can absolutely get that this would play well with other things, and I want to experiment with it. Let me know down below, did you know umami was a thing? It's a thing. Yeah. What umami flavours do you like? Are you a fan of capers or pickles or stuff of that nature, or do you find them absolutely repugnant and you'd never go near them? Thumb this video if you enjoyed it, and also if you feel like financially supporting the channel, there'll be links to my Patreon down below. I do these shenanigans way too often, and it's all self-funded. Apart from that one time someone was mad enough to send me a free bottle, but you know, they're the exception to the rule. I'm not quite sure they were sane, to be fair, because I mean, sending me free stuff, why would you do that? That's nuts. That's crazy. And subscribe to the channel because I do this more than is probably medically advisable. For now though, thank you very much for joining me, and do join me next time where I'll be drinking something else.